This is a delicate topic, one I've actually been advised to not even talk about. Yes, I started my career designing gambling machines. I like to think that I have repented my sins many times over since then. But when I look to social media, I see the exact same mechanics. So I feel it's time that you knew exactly what they were, especially if, like me, you have kids or you know someone who has. Are you ready? Let's take a quick trip through time. Charles Fay, 1894. He actually built the first slot machine called the Liberty Bell. The thing about this machine is it used randomness and rewards to keep players pulling the lever. But 4 years later, it was actually Edward Thorndike, the psychologist, who gave us that term, law of effect, essentially saying what Charles Fay already worked out, that behaviors followed by rewards are more likely to be repeated. This idea became the foundation for understanding habits and how they work, which is the backbone of how slot machines and your social media feed works. But 40 years later, we had the infamous B.F. Skinner. You might have heard about this guy. You know, the one who put rats in those electrified boxes or those cages. And when the rat pushed a button, they were rewarded with food. But what was really interesting was when they started to vary the amount of food, so varying the amount of the rewards, the rat would start pushing the button even though they had enough food to eat. So now they're pushing it for other motivations. Maybe it was curiosity. Now, does this sound like you or your kids on social media? Basically, you're scrolling through your feed or posting. It's like pulling the lever on a slot machine. You know, one post you might put maybe gets 1,000 likes, the next barely any. You never know what you're going to get. And because of it, you keep going. The next component, or the next ingredient, was highlighted in the 1970s by Daniel Kahneman. He created the term, which you may have already known, sunk cost fallacy. It's that irrational motivation to keep you going because of all that time and energy you've already previously invested. You know, like posting, commenting, connecting, sharing, which just like a gambler who's been investing all their money and all that time learning how the machine works, as if that's going to make any difference. Now, I dare you to delete all your posts. Do you think you could? Or you got that sunk cost fallacy component at work? And finally, we've got the work in 2009 by BJ Fogg. He essentially showed us that, look, it's not just about the motivation and the rewards that'll make you do a behavior, but the behavior has to be easy enough to do. And social media, I don't know if you know this, has absolutely nailed this. Scrolling takes zero effort, no friction. And the easier it is, even when you're half asleep or drunk, you can keep scrolling. Okay, so we've gone from a slot machine in 1894 to today, where we have really advanced mechanics, the same mechanics, but way more advanced, but we're allowing 10-year-olds who are hooked. And now it seems like we're no longer capable of even daydreaming. Instead, we just go straight to social media. But it's been designed to take away your time. Now, there's another thin layer of other techniques, which I'm definitely not going to share in this video. But essentially, we humans, we find that experiences that are easy to do have variable rewards and that sunk cost, that investment built in, far more addictive. So if you feel addicted to social media, it might not actually be your fault. But recognizing it is actually going to be the first step to taking back control. Social media is the digital version of a casino. But just remember, if you choose to play, the house always wins.